Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. Today's episode is actually going to be about the FN rifle. This here is an FN, it's called the FS2000. It's a semi-automatic version of the FN2000. They were released a couple of years ago and have some pretty interesting features to them. The first thing that most people note is it's a very, very strange looking gun. In fact, the first time I grabbed this thing, it just felt really weird and bulky in my hands. However, after shooting it, this is actually an exceptional firearm. A couple things to note is the design is pretty drastic as far as if you're used to shooting ARs or AKs or any of the kind of standard black guns that people shoot. The couple things you'll notice is it's got a bullpup design. It's very small. If you remember the other episode I had with the STG 556, it's got the same bullpup design. So for close quarters combat, you've got a very shortened distance because the magazine is actually behind, is in the rear instead of in front of the gun. A couple other things to note here is if you look carefully, to actually check the chamber, most of the times you'd actually look on the side of a gun to look for, see if the chamber's open, has anything in their chamber. This one you actually pull the bolt back and you're looking down the back of the gun to actually see if the chamber has a round in it. So another different thing. Other thing to note is this gun actually will hold up to 5 rounds before it ejects the first round if you close this up. So what it'll actually do is it'll buffer the round, the shell casings in here, and then after the 5th round it'll actually pop that little door open and you'll have a whole flood of the 5 shell casings kick out at the same time. So it actually will store the brass before they're all ejected. And I'll show you on the video, you'll see another follow-up video with this which actually will show this particular component. A couple other things that were done to this one. As far as breakdown, this is actually a very easy gun to break down. You're actually going to push this little lever here, and on the other side you're going to pull this out, and you're pretty much done. That takes your primary components out. The other thing to note here is there is some aftermarket stuff you can get done to it. So we're going to actually push out this bottom component, which really, when you look at it, it's really for cosmetic reasons. There's not any real purpose for this. It's a good place to hold the gun. But for example, this is some work done with actually a flashlight put into it. So we're going to pop this in. The military also uses this there's options for different grenade launchers, flare guns, stuff like that. We're going to slide this back in. And now I actually have the light mounted on it. The one, I think a couple of things to really note. The one thing that really kind of set this gun aside from any other AR I've ever fired is the FS2000 has probably one of the quickest return to zeros I've ever seen with a gun. So think if you're going down the range, you're doing, you're trying to shoot rapid fire one round after the other. The amount of time it takes you to get back to zero tends to be, you tend to have like maybe a half a second in there that your eyes are trying to focus and bring the gun back to bear. As far as the 223, this thing has like a recoil of a .22 rifle. There's nothing. It doesn't move at all, which is surprisingly considering the compact nature of the gun and, just the boxy, it's short, but it's got a boxy design. But all in all, an excellent design. I was extremely impressed. I didn't have too much faith in this when I first looked at it because I thought it just looked a little too weird. But it's a rock solid gun. It's got rail systems on the top, so you can put whatever you want, aim points, EOTech, Seymour sights, whatever you want. And as far as as far as a maybe not your first gun because there's not too many accessories you can buy for it, but if you want a really interesting little specialty gun, this is a great option to look at. So if you have any questions, email me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com, and hope to see you next week for the next show.